What's the most useless talent that you have?
I'm really good at opening up cardboard boxes. I worked as a sausage delivery truck driver.
Wow.
And so they came in cases, and I learned, so there's a fun fact. So if there's tape going across the top, you push in on the sides. It pops the tape on both sides, you grab it, you rip up, and then you go right inside of it. So when an Amazon package gets in, it's no match for me.
Time for another Joy FM offstage. This is always exciting because you get to know your favorite Joy FM artists on stage, but do you really know them off stage? You know Micah Tyler, Amen, Walking Free, Never Been a Moment, but how well do you know Micah Tyler?
Are you asking me? Because I would say, well, I can get a hard C. I can get a pretty good grade on it, I think.
Let's see.
But let's see how well I know myself.
All right, here we go. All right, if you started a boy band, what would it be called?
Oh man, a boy band. Gosh, I feel like I'm too old to be a boy at this point. Is there some sort of a man? I'll call it Mansplain. It's a song where we just really explain everything out to anyone who doesn't really know what's going on. And so this is why we do the music we do, and we really just lay it out. So I'll have to think about the choreography for it, but that's where I stand right now.
All right, we can work on that. We'll come up to the choreography's next level.
That's
First,
right.
we got the name taken care of, so we're good.
That's right.
All right, what is one thing that we all don't know about you?
Oh, you know what? Now I'm trying to think of what I don't know about myself that people don't know. Sports fanatic.
Okay.
Like kind of a junkie about it. When I was a kid, got super obsessed with like stats.
Sure.
And, like I would watch like 5 sports centers a day, and I could tell you like who the 4th best batting average on the Royals were that season, or like whatever the thing was.
Okay.
So I would get way into it. So to this day, I still pride myself on like knowing stuff, figuring things out, and like if anybody has a sports ticket at some point, I'm there.
You're
If
there.
I'm not on the road and I can be there and take my family or whatever. Like we're all in.
All right, who is the most famous person in your phone contacts?
Probably Ben Roethlisberger.
Really?
So Ben came to we got a mutual friend. He came to a Mercy Me show about 3 years ago. Hit it off. He was very kind. And so this last year, for the first day of training camp, which was his last training camp, nobody knew it yet.
Right.
He wore my different shirt. As a shirt that I gave to him for free like 2 years before. He wears it to training camp. Everyone, I was mentioned on like ESPN. Like it was so as a sports junkie / like being, it just turned into a whole crazy day for me.
Sure.
And so anyways, it ends up going through this whole thing, and he reaches out, and we go back and forth, and like we end up doing a campaign where for every shirt that we sold that had different on it, we provided a couple of meals to homeless citizens in Pittsburgh.
I'm Ben Roethlisberger.
And I'm Micah Tyler.
I play football.
And I play music.
Even though our lives are very different, it doesn't mean we can't come together to make a difference.
Ben and I are partnering with Light of Life Rescue Mission, an organization that is reaching out to shelter, feed, clothe, and help homeless citizens all over Pittsburgh.
We are selling limited edition black and gold shirts that say different, based on one of my favorite Micah Tyler songs.
And here's the best part. For every shirt that you buy, we are donating a meal to Light of Life.
And my family and I are going to match each meal with another meal.
And we end up doing like 12,500 meals.
That is incredible.
Which is a super great thing. But I actually text Ben from time to time here and there, and he's by far the only Hall of Famer or future Hall of Famer that I have in my contact.
That is pretty serious. When you got a Hall of Fame NFL quarterback
pretty good
as a contact,
I'll
that's
sell
pretty
it for
good.
$10. It's easy. You want to text Ben Roethlisberger? Let me know.
No. What's the first thing you do when you get off stage? What's the first thing like you want to do when you get off stage?
I'll typically check my phone because I'm a dad and a husband, and so
Okay.
I'm looking to see like make sure everything's okay, everything's good at home. We do a fun thing with our band. We get off and we tell each other we love each other, hug each other, and then we'll do highlights. Like, hey, what was your favorite thing we just did? Like out of the last hour.
Oh,
It's
very
a
cool.
great opportunity for us to get to celebrate because we get to do this for a living. So it's fun to be like, dude, that guitar lick you did was awesome. And they're like, oh yeah, I kind of tried doing whatever. So we try to hype each other up when we get off stage because we just got to doing something really sweet, got to do something really special, and it was for the Lord. So we just get to celebrate what He just did.
That's
good.
awesome. Name something that you hate that everyone else loves.
Okay, this is real. I can't use a paper napkin. Grosses me out to the nth degree. Now that sounds like I'm like really fancy, like I only use a cloth napkin. But I've learned to be like a very neat eater because for some reason when I was a kid, picking up like when I touched it, it made my skin crawl.
Okay.
And so like to this day, like
Really?
a very normal everyday part of life.
Right.
If you see me eating, I'm always very neat, very very clean about everything. But also not if I do use a napkin, I have to put it down. I can't touch it again.
Okay.
Fun. So now we're getting into some. There's probably some deeper psychological things in here that we're getting into. So
Right,
but yeah,
people-
so I would say that would probably be a that's something that everyone else is kind of into that I would say shy away from.
You're just an overly neat eater. You don't use your sleeve or anything.
No.
Not going to go that route.
very neat eater.
No.
Yeah, a lot of hand washing, but yeah, I'm just not. That's true.
Okay.
You got
All
it.
right. That's cool. Let's think back to when you were a teenager.
Okay.
What was the most rebellious thing you did when you were a teen?
Oh, when I was in 7th grade, so I'd been 13.
Okay.
I started watching The Fugitive by Harrison Ford.
Okay.
And I got halfway through and I had to go to bed. And the whole night I lay there going like, really, what happened in this movie?
Right.
So the next morning I woke up and I didn't want to go to school. But I went to school and the whole time I was just thinking about The Fugitive. And I'm thinking like, well, how does this movie end? And so I had pretty bad asthma as a kid and I faked an asthma attack. A hard one too. Like I just got the whole day and they sent me home and like they had to call the hospital and I was just going like, is it okay if I watch The Fugitive? So I did not get to watch the rest of it because they ended up taking me to the hospital where they gave me 2 shots of adrenaline. They're trying to figure out what's going on with me. And then finally I told the truth and I was grounded from The Fugitive and I didn't watch it for a while longer. So children, just be careful when it comes to your Harrison Ford films that you try to put above all else. Just,
It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man.
That's right. That's good. That's awesome.
Or the asthma man.
It was me. It was the
It was you.
asthmatic. That's me.
Okay. All right. What was your favorite job before becoming a musician?
I did youth ministry for 9 years. So I graduated high school and at 18 years old became a youth pastor at a little church about a mile from my house that I grew up in, and served there for 3 years. Served another church for 6 years. And it wasn't until I was 20 that I bought a guitar, hoping that one of the kids in the youth group would learn to play it, and they didn't. So I was kind of like, I should probably learn how to play a few songs with this guitar.
Yeah.
And started playing the guitar and leading worship for them. Then I started leading worship for other buddies in their churches and stuff, and had no idea that after 9 years of youth ministry and 7 years of playing the guitar, the Lord would just like really shift what faithfulness looked like. But I tell people all the time, I would still be doing youth ministry, still have such a heart for students and that generation. I'd still be doing that right now if God did not really radically change my heart to say, all right, you're going to be faithful to this new thing now and do the music deal. And so, but yeah, youth ministry is my favorite job.
So you were on set of The Chosen recently.
I was, yeah.
Tell us about
I'm
that
wearing a hat.
experience.
I am wearing a
You
hat
get-
right now. That's
oh,
fine.
there
I
we-
am. I'm wearing the Chosen hat.
I figured it was kind of,
Yeah.
low-hanging fruit to ask
Or I
that
just
question.
stole it.
but What was it? What was it like?
So our family, we're all in fans. Like
Okay.
we've watched every episode. Like we're the ones who are like just waiting. Like, okay, when does it come on the app? Is it tonight or is it tomorrow? And like we'll sit and watch as a family. So I've got wife and 3 kids, and like that was kind of our jam. And so when they reached out to me, and they asked me if I would come out. So they were doing the feeding of the 5,000 scene.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having, it's Texas, so it was like 105 degrees outside.
Right.
So instead of having 13,000 people in a field, they spread it over 2 days, and they would have a group of 1,000 go out there. They filmed their section while one group was in a tent kind of chilling out, while one group was over here getting dressed and getting COVID tested. Then they would rotate everyone out, and to where people weren't sitting out in the field for 8 hours. They'd be out
Okay.
there for a couple of hours, and they would move the cameras around and shoot it from a different scene. And it was so cool to watch all that happen. But they had thousands of people just kind of standing around waiting for their scene. They're like, well, what if we put a stage out there and we have people perform? So me and Big Daddy Weave and a couple other artists went out there and got to go do like these 30-minute sets,
that's
like
awesome.
performing for, and everyone's in like biblical costumes on their cell phone, eating a burrito. You're going like, I feel like this was, and like you see some of the costumes, you're going like, because everyone just brought their own.
Sure.
You're going like, there's some wise men out here. I may see like a couple of, some of them wearing Easter costumes. I'm like, well, that's just a spoiler alert.
Right, yeah, right.
That hasn't
Like,
happened yet.
right,
That's when a
yeah.
couple people were dressed as Jesus. I'm going like,
I know.
like that. He's not like, he's over here. You can't be like the purple sash guy today.
Right.
So, but it was awesome. Dallas Jenkins, we love what he does, and he was so kind to us, and we had a blast getting to sit behind the scenes. My family got to be part of the 5,000.
That is awesome.
I was on stage during it, but they got to go out there, so they're all they're sweating in their biblical costumes. So we're gonna be like, when it comes out that scene, we're gonna be really looking in the back to see like, oh, I think I saw your hand back there.
You're gonna have to like keep pausing the episode and be like, wait, is that a no?
Zoom,
Go a little
zoom.
faster. Wait, that's us. No, that's not.
No, it's
What piece of advice would you share with your younger self?
Oh, the only thing that we can be faithful to is today. We can have big dreams about the future. Like I talk to a lot of young musicians who are thinking like, man, how do I get to be on a stage like that in
Right.
front of these many people or have songs on the radio or whatever? And my thing is, man, I look back on the way that God was changing me and shifting me at a younger age. And honestly, it came from me learning how to be faithful in small spaces. And then when he gave me certain things, like he had been training my heart for those things. And sometimes we fail in those situations, but I learned something there too. And so we can't be faithful to, I've been married for 18 years now. I cannot, because I made a commitment 18 years ago, be like, yeah, I'm fully married and committed today. I have to make a choice today to be faithful to my marriage and my wife. I can't say, oh, I'll be faithful 5 years from now and put it on autopilot. I'm going like, no, I have to actively choose my wife every day. So if I was talking to my younger self, I would just be like, hey, look, stay the course and be faithful to what God puts in front of you. Wherever your feet are, that's where your heart sits. And wherever your heart sits, that's what you can love.
That's awesome.
So love the things that are in front of you and be content and be grateful that God gave you something to be faithful to that day.
That's awesome. Not just for the little ones, but this is for like everybody that's checking that out right now. That's awesome advice right there. All right,
little ones, I'd be like, work on your curveball. Like maybe just give a little more spin on that.
Now you get to know a little bit more about Micah Tyler right there. Look, we love connecting you to your favorite Joy FM artists like Micah Tyler.
Hey, good to see you.
Click around. There are so many more opportunities for you to get to know your favorite Joy FM artists off stage with 99.1 Joy FM.
And remember, the box, the sides.
The box.
Put the sides in. Work on curveball.